The recording. Welcome to the Virtual Cheese Awards 2022, showcasing the best of British cheese. I'm Lee and I'm moderating this session. Today we'll be judging F9 Cow's Milk Soft Cheese. I'd now like to introduce our two judges, Bronwyn and Perry. If you both want to give a few words, please.
I'm Bronwyn. I work with Neal's Yard Dairy on buying and quality assurance, and I'm happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Perry from Reddit and Rind. I look after the cheese here. I'm a World Cheese Judge, certified affineur, and as of yesterday, affineur of the year.
Thank you. The judges will use a points-based system for judging against 5 key attributes, and the winner will be the cheese with the most points and will go forward to the best in category stage. So if you want to take the first cheese, please, which is F91112.
Sure. Struggling with this one a bit.
It's a race.
So I think we recognize the style.
Like a long.
Yeah. Oh, God. Wow. Okay. And now I've worked out why that's in a case. Yeah. So yeah, visually, I think it's quite exciting. You know, the wrinkly one, the yellow color, the hue, I like. I'm not that fond on its wetness, and it depends where we want to go here. If we're you know, happy with kind of the direction of it, you know.
I agree with you. It's quite exciting. A little bit frayed around the edges, but I like the way that there's like a flossy, geoy kind of.
Yeah.
I give it a high score. I think it.
Yeah. I think it's exciting. I think we're down there. I think it's appealing. I think it intrigues people. I think I go for 9.
Cool. I'm with you.
Good. Okay.
Bit phenolic, a bit barnyardy. Again, inviting, interesting.
Yeah.
Tons of projection.
Yeah, I like that. I totally agree. I think it smells exactly how I would anticipate it to smell, that challenging style of it. But I think it's quite gentle, which is quite nice.
Yeah, not too stinky.
So yeah, I'd go for like an 8 on that on the smell.
8 or 9. I'm not finding fault.
Yeah. Wow.
Really
I
nice.
love that.
Glossy.
I'm sure the health and safety crowd will go mad eating cheese off a knife.
Yeah, I just realized I did that. Yeah. I'm fine. I'm a professional.
We can see the award.
Yeah. So texturally, I love it. Right. I think that's really attractive to like so many people out there. I think it coats well. It's smooth. It's just it's enjoyable. It's exactly what you're expecting.
I couldn't agree more. And it's rich and it's fresh, and the box is performing a job, which I totally approve of. It would be maybe hard to handle without the box, but with the box there, I'm confident that's going to make it to its destination and be eaten in good condition. So I like the flavor. It's not over the top, but it's strong and characterful. Again, I give this high marks pretty much across the board.
Yeah, so I think texturally, I think a 9. I love that. I always love that style. And I do think it's ever so slightly oversorted. I do have a slight problem with that. But on the round, I really like it. So 8.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
So aroma 9.
Yeah.
Flavor 8.
8.
Texture 9.
9. Yeah.
Plus. And trueness to type 9.
Yeah, 9. I think it is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Good cheese.
Really good cheese, actually.
Brilliant.
I like the way they brought in the box.
Yeah.
to just allow them to just go ham with that texture and let people enjoy it rather than being restricted by packaging, right?
Yeah, no, completely, 100%.
So your next one will be 1147.
Oh, we're down here, aren't we? F9 1147. Yep.
F9 1147. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Wrapped very tightly.
Cute little cheese.
Yeah.
I might betray my prejudice against flat white rinds in this round. I have this thing against flat whites.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit like it came off of a factory line, just because of that white monocultural penicillium rind. But
it's very thick, that rind, isn't it? It seems very uneven as well. I think it's got the characteristics of being a farmhouse cheese. But I think that mold is just, the thickness of that is not particularly attractive to me.
I agree.
I would put it round about 6 to 7.
Yeah, I might go 5.
Okay, got you.
You want to go 6 to
No, I can see where you're coming from. So it's that's perfectly fine for me. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe visually, obviously looking at the paste, I think maybe we should
move up
one. I just think that's really even. There's a slight chalkiness in the middle. I think that's quite appealing.
But the glossiness of the paste is just about on target. I still would knock it for that rind, but if you want to go up to like 6.
6. Yeah, just
Okay.
Smell is quite easy going, but that aggressive bitter that's coming from that rind of being I'm not quite keen on that, to be honest. I think I'm going below 5. Maybe moving towards 3.
Yeah, I mean, it smells a bit sallow and
okay, so it's a 3.
It's interesting because it's not bitter.
No.
It's a little, I mean, it's not bad. It's a little thin and diffuse again, but it's not.
It's double cream, right? Yeah. It's like that's literally where it's positioning itself. I'm really surprised that the bitterness isn't there. I think it's just quite pleasant.
Yeah.
And I think people will be happy to eat that. And it'll be easy going. I'm around on both marks 6.
6. Happy with that. Yeah.
True to type for
cow's milk soft cheese. 7.
7. Yeah. Cool. So your next one will be 1052.
1052. A soft one.
And already looks intriguing. Oh, wow.
Well, it's very well wrapped, I would say.
Yeah. I think,
not what I was expecting in terms of the appearance.
Leave that on there. No, and it's quite hard to. It's got a bucket loads of character. I don't know if it's because it's gone lopsided. They're kind of like indentations on mine that almost look like cloth, which is a little bit confusing because that's on the side as well.
I wonder if it's the imprint from like a blue plastic draining cloth that might have been lining the mold. It's funny. It's like a real patchwork of different things going on. There's like wetness on the rind. There's mold on the rind. It's a bit patchy, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's got a turtle kind of vibe to it with the mold and the move across. I think it's interesting visually.
Yeah, it feels a little like, I don't want to say out of control, but it's like on the edge. It's also like it's slipping its rind a little bit. The center looks like it's about to shoot out. Where it's breaking down, and then you've got your core that hasn't quite broken down.
It's the same. It's very pronounced. So I like its character visually, but I kind of it's kind of all over the place, and there's no consistency for me. And it feels dangerous.
As a monger, I'm like, oh, wow, this is going to take some handling.
So I go maybe 5, middle of the road. Texture, what aroma, right?
Given the way it looks, I'm getting really very little of the aroma from it.
Yeah, this feels just like a real basic brine.
Yeah.
Wash.
Yeah.
And it's not giving much at all, just kind of damp cloth.
Yeah. 5?
I would go maybe 4, I think.
Yeah.
Texture as a whole. Well, it's certainly interesting. It stomps a bit, doesn't it, all over the place? It's like a moody teenager. So texturally, I'm not unhappy with it. I think that smoothness and actually that rigidity is quite cool. Actually, I'm thinking round about a 6.
A 6? I'm happy with that. Like there's some interesting stuff going on. It's definitely hard to handle and a little bit sort of like, it feels a bit uncontrolled, but let's call it a 6. Happy with that.
So flavor.
Flavor is interesting. It has that real sort of primary yeastiness that I associate with something like a Taleggio. Which if you look at it in that context, is actually sort of milky and interesting and good. I think I like the flavor more than I expected to.
And it's got a real kind of up front, like a soft cheese vibe as well, hasn't it? I find it interesting.
Yeah, it's a real, like, I'm trying to come to grips with it in real time on video. I think it would be fair to give it a fairly good mark for texture, or not for texture, for flavor. But I think the other marks that we've given are going to hold it back in the overall.
Okay, I think that's important. I think this is a very experimental, and I'm interested. But in terms of the quality of cheeses that we've been trying, there's a stark difference, right?
It's not polished.
Yes, no, not at all. Not at all. So flavor.
6, 7? 6 or 7? Yeah.
6. Let's 6.
Let's give it a 6.
6. Yeah. True to type.
5. I don't know what type it is. My other guess is that this is probably a cheese that has a lot of variation from batch to batch. I can't imagine that every batch that's coming out of this creamery, just based on the appearance right now, is similar. And I guess from that perspective, I might knock it a little bit.
Well, let's do it because a 4.
4.
Yeah, but I like it.
I want to see where it goes. Next year, the year after.
Yeah, I want to write it. I'm gonna put that in a special place and find out who that was.
All right.
So your next one will be 1158.
Cheese in a box.
In the box. Ultra runny.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, so I think it's quite visually appealing. I think it's quite even, but with some character.
Yes. Yeah, no, I like the combination of geo and penicillium on the rind.
Yeah.
It looks characterful. Yeah, so on appearance, what do you want to say? Like,
I think like an 8. I think as you cut it open and it oozes, and that it's got that kind of that shelf that kind of holds up and then oozes out. I find that really satisfying. I think customers will. They protected it with the box. So that isn't an issue. I quite like that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, aromatically, I'm getting a lot of ammonia. I don't know if that's secondary to being in the box, but
yeah, it's kind of paint stripper-esque as well, isn't it, really?
This is so interesting. When I opened the box, I thought it was like a paint.
Yeah. And I thought that might have been some kind of strange gas flush that may happen or something. But yeah, it's firmly on the cheese.
Yeah.
Which isn't enjoyable.
I would say like 4.
Yeah, okay, 4, yeah.
And it really dominates the flavor of the cheese as well, which is unfortunate because looking at that geo, I'm really looking for some volatile sulfur aromas and some real cabbage, truffle, etc. And I just am getting something that's quite like painty.
It's all there though, isn't it?
Like there's the potential for it. It's just.
I think that there is. I think that kind of, you got those real basey broth reduction depths that are there. So I admire it. I don't think this is a particularly good form of it. So texturally, I'm okay. It's a 7 for me.
Yeah.
Flavor, I'm gonna inch on obviously the below 5s.
Yeah, I'm with you. 4.
Yeah, 4. Yeah. And true to type for Camembert Brie style, I think that's pretty bang on like a farmhouse brie. So I'm thinking like an 8. Yeah.
Cool.
Brilliant. The next one then will be 1012.
1012. Whoever wrapped these up, I'm really going to give high marks for impenetrability.
I don't want to damage the cheese as well. This one feels like it's got a bit of give to it. Oh,
if that's what the cheese is like, imagine what the Christmas presents are like.
I love that visually.
It's quite flossy and sweet, isn't it?
I think it's just so delicate and seems really consistent and really well looked after.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a well-needed dough. I'm a bit in love with that, to be honest. Visually.
9.
I'm 9. Yeah. I haven't even cut into it yet. I was wow. Okay. Okay, good podge on it. It's good.
It feels a little bit sort of stiffer than I was expecting, given the appearance of it, but it's still giving. It's not too tough.
And I think the aromas are very true of this kind of kind of mixed reblochon, like taleggio kind of play around. I think it's telling you what it's going to be. And I don't think, and it's got like a nice kind of fermented edge.
Yeah.
So aroma, I quite like that, like an 8, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's a barnyardy element. It feels very controlled, very sort of like hitting the marks for that style of cheese. I feel like, yeah. So from an aroma perspective, I mean, maybe not quite as interesting and as much projection as the first cheese we tried, but I think quite good. 8.
Yeah. What did we give the first cheese on? Sorry, Lee. On score.
First cheese on score on aroma, you gave 9. Texture 9, true to character 9, and flavour 8.
Okay. Should we go for a 7 on the?
I agree.
Yeah.
7 on. Sorry, didn't catch what.
7.
Oh, 7 on aroma.
On aroma.
Yep.
So texturally kind of pleasant. That rind is a bit chewy.
The rind's a bit chewy, tiny bit dense. Like if I compare it to, say, I'm comparing this with a reblochon, there's something a little bit more, it doesn't feel as giving or as relaxed as I would want my reblochon to be.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah. Flavor, what do you think?
Quite high salt.
Yeah.
I feel like the salt, in the way that the first one was very high salt, but it didn't dominate the flavor. Here, I feel the flavor is just a little bit held back by that distracting salt. And again, like I'm saying this with respect, like this cheese should get a high score. But I think it's a little bit, it needs a bit more finesse around the edges to take it from like very respectable to like, wow.
Yeah. I think it just needs just a little bit more. I think you're totally right about the salt level. And I think, on that, we're around about a 7. Yeah. And then true to type, I'd like to see more, I suppose, a peachy kind of ness to it, I suppose. So I think I'd be around about 6.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like a broken record. More milky complexity, more length of flavor. Like it's good. It's good. There's nothing bad about it, but I just want more. So yeah.
It's that kind of like next level, isn't it? When we're getting up into those 8 or 9, something that wow us quite a bit.
Totally. But very respectable cheese.
Yeah.
Cool. Your next one then will be 1114.
1114.
Perry, don't get confused with the award. Cheese is encroaching over his shoulder.
Just siphoning out the ones that I'm just fascinated by. Oh,
there we go. It's got a whiff about it.
yeah. And I like that actually. Pure just cabbage.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting. Visually that bloom has began to die back, which leaves me like excited about what I'm going to see inside. I like the slight drawback on the geo that's around kind of the edges that's there. I'm pretty like happy with that. And internally I like that as well. I'm thinking an 8.
I would give that an 8. I think in a perfect world, a camembert that was really going to be tip top would have a little bit more glossy sheen to the paste. This is just a tiny bit matte and stable for me, but we'll reap the benefits of that stability as well. Super aromatic, sort of kind of it's barnyard camembert aromas, and I like that about it.
And it's playful with the ammonia that's in there. It's masked, and they've utilized that for like breakdown, which I think is very cool. Interesting.
A little heavy and a little bit bitter.
I
feel like the flavor doesn't follow through with as much joy as I'd like it to, given the promise of what we've seen up to this point.
I think flavor-wise, that really falls short of a camembert that anchored in a bitter element that's there.
Yeah.
It's like raw kind of greens, rawness to it. Yeah. So visually, I love it. Aroma, I really love it. Texture, I'm okay with it. Flavor, I'm not so much.
Yeah. Perfect. So what numbers are we still missing? Flavor, I would say.
I think you broke up at some point because I haven't got any numbers at all on this one.
Okay.
So let's run through the lot.
Appearance 8.
Yep.
Aroma 7 or 8. What do you think?
I like 8 for
8.
it. Yeah.
Texture 7 or 6.
7.
7.
6. If that's okay.
It's just too heavy.
Yeah.
Flavor 5 or 4.
I think 4.
4. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does have a lingering bitterness that's just disappointing given everything else. Trueness to type 7.
7. Yeah. 7. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the aroma was cracking on that one. I really enjoyed that.
Promised a lot and then quite get there. What's next?
Next is treble 1 5.
Say again?
1115.
1115. Our craft number. That looks great.
Yeah, visually, I think that's quite appealing. Obviously, the addition of the spruce on the outside, the way the mold has covered that in quite a pretty kind of linear pattern following the grooves. The kind of bit of character that, it's not so uniform, which I like.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's like a 9 for me.
Yeah, 9 on appearance.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go through or are you gonna take off the top?
I think I'm gonna try and go through.
Okay.
But I think it may run away. I mean, it looks fantastic.
Nice texture there.
Yeah, texture visually. And the aroma is more delicate than the previous one we had. The familiar kind of beats of a camembert are there, but not in an aggressively overpowering way.
Yeah, it's a little less truffly and a little more sort of milky. It's very interesting. The rind is much thicker on one side than the other, but maybe it's just how I've cut it. I might be in a groove or something.
Mine seems actually.
Maybe mine is. Maybe it's just.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Your one is different from mine. It's got that kind of bowing where, I haven't quite got that. I mean, it's hard to find. Mine's quite runny, but there's a little bit of bowing, but that's come through on that edge. But the rind is quite even on mine. But I'll let you decide on that. But I like it.
Yeah, or say go ahead.
Texturally, aroma. I like the balance of that. I like that it's slightly understated. I think we're up near 8 for that for me.
Yeah. Milky, dairy, primary. But it has quite a pronounced bitter note for me. Again.
Interesting. Mine is not bitter at all. It's maybe a little bit too salty, but
just
really...
at the end on the back of your tongue. I know there are lots of different kinds of bitternesses, but you're not.
Yeah. No, I get a touch of it, but not enough to grade it, I suppose. In terms of that, which is interesting. I mean, obviously they're 2 different cheeses. We saw the different rind thickness there.
Totally.
Which is really interesting. This is it's a really good. I really like it actually. My one.
I think it's a very polished cheese. I think in terms of the amount of flavor, let's put the bitterness aside.
Yeah.
in terms of the amount of flavor, I feel like it's not super complex in the way that maybe some of like the first cheese, for example, I would definitely rank it lower on flavor than that, but I think it's perfectly nice.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I think on flavor where mine sits, I'm currently sitting probably at 7 to 8.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to take into account the bitterness that you're getting. There's something different.
Happy with the 7 if you were.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 7. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, and true to type, Camembert Vacherin style. I think that's pretty spot on, to be honest.
It is. The only thing I might knock it down for is if that rind is a little bit thick. I mean, I know the rind is always thick, but it feels like a thick penicillium rather than a sort of fusarium.
A wave, yeah.
So, 7?
7, yeah, okay, yeah.
What did you think on texture?
Good.
Oh, yeah, very good. I would arguably on mine, I'd put that up to like 8 or 9.
Yeah. Should we go? Let's go 9. I think the texture.
Yeah, I think the texture stands out above everything else.
Cool. No, it's definitely doing what you want in that style of cheese texture wise. Like it's nice and spoonable.
Right, so we've got 1181 is next. We're halfway through this class.
8-1.
13, we've done 7.
Yeah.
Right. Pick up the pace, in other words.
Are you enjoying yourself, Lee?
It's a great way of getting hungry. You probably never want to see cheese for a little while, but yeah.
So visually,
Interesting.
character, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a cheese like this before.
Yeah.
It looks like the wine hasn't quite knitted together.
Yeah, it just feels like it's almost after a couple of days been blasted with mold, and it hasn't had time to set in. And these grooves on the top, are really interesting, and they provided such a significant discoloration.
Oh yeah, gosh, I didn't know. I wonder if it has a natto in it.
Or yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's very unusual.
I kind of like it a lot, actually.
It's got
just for that kind of the breakaway. So it's difficult, this one. I kind of like the gnarliness of it, the imperfections, the addition of annatto. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a difficult one for me, so I'm just going to say like an 8 because I'm enjoying it. But I think we have some serious flaws there, so I'd like to be guided by you of where we position ourselves on this.
I mean, I have to say I'm totally perplexed. I need to taste it. I need to sort of like comprehend it in its totality, and then maybe we can go back and break it down into it pieces, if that makes sense. Because I'm just like, I'm reeling.
Yeah, I mean, aroma, really high ammonia.
Yeah, I have to say, like, it doesn't smell good on the outside.
Yeah, and it's tipping into that urine-y kind of point.
Yeah, you're in a wet dog. That.
Yeah. Very, very salty.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, we've just been given a trip of kind of like salts there, right? We've got into table salt, minerality, like burning.
It's a pretty full-on experience in every respect. Ooh, all right. So I have to say I wouldn't eat this for pleasure.
No. It's the world's hottest chili kind of idea, right? So I think visually, I'm really enjoying visually for character.
It's
I like the fun of it. I like cutting that, that stark rind, cutting it open. you know, and I'd like to merit on that effort. So I'd like to be about 8.
Yeah, fine. I'm happy with that. I think aromatically, I'd knock it equivalently. It's not a pleasant smell. I would go about a 3 or 4.
I would go for a 3.
Yeah.
And then texture, I suppose, wasn't particularly unpleasant texturally.
No, it was softer than it could have been, considering the style of cheese and the size and everything. It doesn't strike me as a particularly soft cheese, but it's not the kind of hard nugget that I was fearing that it might be.
It just looks so hard, and actually is quite smooth. So I'm a 5 on that.
5? Yeah, I'm happy with that too.
Yeah, and then flavor, I think I'm in the 3s, I'm afraid. Yeah.
It's just the salt is too much.
Yeah.
And trueness to type, I feel like there is no type unless we're saying soft cow's cheese, in which I might like knock it a little bit just because it's not that soft. Yeah. I'm not sure if I would have put this in a soft cheese category. I might have put it in the blue cheese category.
Potentially. Yeah, should we go kind of middle of the road on 5?
Yeah.
Just because I wouldn't want to, I think it's a classification issue that may be there.
No, I'm
It reminds me, the colors though remind me of like a toy, you know. I don't know. I'd love to work out where my mind goes with that. It's really fascinating.
Points for style.
So 1095 next.
1095. Another really small.
Arrived at a very interesting one.
Oh, wrap. Well, again.
Yes, very, very well wrapped.
I think
we've said I don't know what they do with the cheese, but the Christmas present to be challenging.
I think Sarah, next year I might just wrap Enter for entertainment and just wrap a cheese so tightly, you know, buckle it up and just really delay the process, you know. Yeah, so camembert style, right? But a little bit Aubrey, quite gnarly, not as clean as I would like. That thick mold that's there is very thick. I'm not particularly loving it.
No, I think again it suffers from the sort of monoculture challenge of a lot of these flat white rinded cheeses, and it's so soft that actually I almost pulled some of the rind off while I was trying to unwrap it. We've got a lot of demineralization going on here, and slippage.
Yeah, that rind slip is extremely aggressive and majorly uneven, and it's so cutting into that, and it's weighted as well, where that molten core just kind of molten exterior, and it's kind of just changed its positioning. I'm gonna go I think a 3 or 4 visually. I don't think this is particularly appealing. On aroma, it's so delicate.
I'm surprised it's not more ammoniated given the amount of protein breakdown we're seeing.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so I think the aroma, for how much character it has, is really light. There's not much going on. I don't even get any bitterness. It's hard. I'd go for like a 3.
Aroma wise, I mean, I suppose it's not as ammoniated as I thought it was going to be. I don't think it's particularly exciting. I might go with like 4.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to go with 4. And then I think texture wise, I'm kind of near the 1 mark.
I really feel that this is, I mean, if it's acceptable, Sarah, to really knock it to that level, I agree with you. I think it is not correct.
And something's gone wrong there, and it's unfortunate. But kind of maybe a little bit back to the drawing board, or we've created a new style that people like that I'm unaware of. So are we okay to be in the 1 area?
Yeah, I mean, Could you actually kind of show the camera the kind of texture? What's
okay? Oh, you've got it still wrapped. Actually, I'll let you do that, Bronwyn.
Okay.
So it's basically come apart. But what you can see here is this cavernous space between an over-acidified core and then a really soupy, broken down rind. And I mean, if I were going to put my technical hat on, I would suggest that this cheese has been post-acidified in the molds. The pH of the center is dropped to way too low, and it's quite demineralized, which means that the capacity of the curd to buffer the pH change as the mold breaks it down is severely limited. And so you get like pH under the rind super high, liquid breakdown, and then the center staying very, very firm. So it's a drainage issue essentially, but I think it might not be that hard to fix with the right approach. So I don't think it's a terminal fault. I just think this isn't showing the best of what the style of cheese should do.
Thank you for that, Bronwyn. That's really helpful for the maker, I'm sure.
Sure, no. And what are we,
so with their texture, we've done aroma, and then now we're on flavor, right? Sorry, Lee, are we?
Yeah, flavor and truth's character.
Yeah, so I think the flavor is around, I don't think it's at fault as much as the others. So I think I would position it around about a 4.
Yeah, 4 or 5. Just give it a 5.
Yeah, 5, yeah. And then true to type, I think we have to really be honest about it. And you know, they've got the bloom on there and it's round, and I think we're setting out as 2 or 3.
Yeah, let's give it a 3.
Yeah, cool. Perfect.
The next one's 1118.
1118.
Oh my.
Looks like an ash-minded cheese, possibly. Or do you think that's just gray mold?
I think so. I don't think it's ash. Maybe yeah. I think that's a good kind of covering, almost like a camouflage.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of quite cool.
I like the shape and appearance. It looks to me like it was wrapped before the rind was fully formed, and that it's suffering slightly as a result of that. Just looking at it, there might be an element of ash going into that coloring just when you look at the cross.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, actually, could be. Yeah, and we're kind of getting those bright yellow spots that are coming into the cheese for me. Kind of looks maybe slightly pseudo, perhaps. That those spots. I don't know if you're getting those.
No, can you hold that up? Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
No, I don't have those on mine, which is interesting.
Yeah,
we
so
might
I
be able
think
to taste.
yeah, so I think that could be a bit of pseudo that's in there. But actually, I think visually a really cool, pretty kind of easygoing cheese. And good shape. Yeah,
I like the shape. I like the format. I think the rind appearance is like that sort of sticky, the rind having been suffocated a little bit. I'd not go for that. I might say like a 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think I'll be near a 6. Yeah,
okay.
I think I'll be near a 6.
Cool.
Aroma. Yeah, it makes you work. Yeah, there is a citrus element, but it's kind of, it's quite chalky, isn't it? I think that's interesting. I think that kind of it doesn't blow me away. There's not a huge amount of complexity there. Looking at the style of the cheese that we have inside, it's kind of half of what I would expect. I think that's around a 5 or a 6.
Yeah, let's give it a 6.
So texturally, I quite like it.
I agree that for a lactic cheese, it's quite fluffy, it's quite giving. It doesn't have that sort of granularity that sometimes, or roughness. I think of all the things about it, I like the texture the best. I find the flavor, I don't know, is it quite salty for you?
Salty, zingy, and on the just too aggressive.
Yeah, there's an aggression there. I don't know if that might be to do with some sort of Pseudomonas or rind microbe that's just breaking down maybe the fats in a way that it's not heat, but there's a little bit of something lurking in the background there that doesn't,
and then just kind of moving more near that rind, you've got that kind of soapy note that's there as well. But I kind of like its direction.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a bit of potential. I think if they dial that flavor back, maybe tighten their rinds in a little bit, I think that's they're onto a bit of a winner there, to be honest.
So texture wise, I might give it like a 7.
Yeah, I think I might go an 8 because I just enjoyed that, you know, the fluffiness of it. Yeah. So
texture 8 and flavor maybe like a 5.
Yeah, flavor 5. And true to type, as a cow's milk soft cheese.
Like a lactic?
A lactic, yeah. So like a 6, I suppose. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
So what was the one on flavor?
Flavor
5. 5, yeah.
Thank you.
What's next?
Where are we?
1038.
1038. I'm not sure I have a 1038.
No, we excluded that one, Sarah. I believe we both didn't receive that one. That's been omitted, I believe.
In which case then, there's one less. 1082.
Okay.
1082.
Sorry, so the 1038 hasn't been sent.
Yes, I think when I marked
sorry,
that
1038. Yeah.
Yeah, I can get my other sheet where I marked it down in it's in the mountain of cheese, Sarah, I'm afraid.
Okay,
You've lost that list.
I can imagine you have a cheese mountain there, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think this is on the flat white rind sort of monoculture spectrum. There's something a little bit more undulating about it than some of the others, but I mean, the appearance wise, well, let's cut it in half and see as well. I think 6.
Yeah, 6. I think I'm with you on the flat white. Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of heavy core that's in there. I
wonder
think it's nice. Yeah.
Be a triple cream just based on the way it's cutting. I don't know.
And the sort of coloration on the. Yeah. Fresh cream.
Yeah.
In a big way. Unfortunately, I think that the rind lets it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the start, taste is nice, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's that rind that's in there that lets down. It's surprisingly smooth for how dense it feels. Actually, it just dissipates, and that fresh cream is really nice, and then just rolls into a bit of a bitter kind of rut. So I think texturally, I think I'm around about 6, 7.
I would give it a 7. I like the texture of the piece, but the rind definitely lets it down. So hard to get the cheap style of cheese in balance. I feel, but I'm with you. So okay, let's go with 6 because for the totality of it, I think that reflects.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Did you score aroma?
Aroma, I'd say a little lower. You get the butteriness on the taste, but I feel like it's a little dominated aromatically by the ammonia on the rind.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe aroma 5. It's not that appealing to me. And did we mark flavor? Sorry, Lee, did we?
Not yet.
Not
No
yet.
texture, we're just on flavour.
6?
Okay. Yeah, 6. Yeah.
No
I think
true
it
to
has
type.
potential though, getting that kind of true to type as a triple creme soft style cheese. A 6.
Yeah.
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 Okay, last one in this class is 1125.
Excellent. I wonder if this is a relative of our
Yeah, my friend, eh?
earlier. Although the rind actually looks quite different.
That
Maybe
does.
it's more continuous, and the cheese
Yeah.
looks a bit softer.
I kind of I like that. So we've got less, you know, of that curd indentation. Once again, I think it's intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that spiral kind of pattern on the bottom is, you know,
and the texture is way more giving than the.
yeah, so I have kind of a large hole in the center of mine.
Mine has a tiny bit of blue.
Yeah.
Do you think this is supposed to be a blue cheese?
Do you think it's an internal blue?
Like a Cambozola?
Yeah, or kind of like a white Stilton.
Yeah, maybe.
You
Is
know,
it pierced?
it doesn't appear to be.
No.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting. So like visually, it's intrigued me again. On the sort of interior, you know, exterior, I'm like, hey, I'm excited. I want to see what's going on. There's some flaws, but whatever. Interior, we kind of have these kind of glaring issues here,
Yeah.
which I think would really dissatisfy a customer or someone eating it.
If it was setting out to be a blue cheese and those fissures were on purpose in order to allow the blue to grow,
yeah,
then that's one thing, but it's not clear that they are, and it's not turning blue consistently. So yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would be down at like 5 or 6.
6.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So then, aroma.
Yeah. So you've got that a little bit of ammonia. You've got that kind of typical Stilton bitterness, that kind of digestive element that's there as well. Yeah, I don't mind that aroma. It's kind of yeah. 7.
It's interesting. It's not over salted. There's some savoriness coming through. It feels to me like it's not fully broken down yet. Like there's a chalky core, and then we're getting breakdown under the rind, sort of more at the corners. I feel like there's more potential in this cheese than we're tasting in these samples.
Yeah. For how it looks, the kind of problems that we're seeing, it doesn't marry up with the flavor. I don't feel like that the flavor is bad. I think it's got problems, but I'll be so texturally I'm moving near a 6. And flavor, I think I might be moving with a 6 as well.
Yeah. All right. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
And then in terms of true to type, you know, a 5 or a 6.
I would say 5. I think it's not clear what it's trying to be. I'm a little confused, and just for that reason, it should be either blue or not blue, or you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, right. That was the last one in that category. We do have a clear winner. First one, 1112.
I'm very happy with that. Is there a
so
second?
Happy with that. Yeah. So happy with that.
Second was 1115.
Yep.
Yeah.
Third.
1012.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Cool.
I think those were.
Okay. Yeah. So the winner was 1112. I'd like to thank the judges for the work that they've put in today. Also, I'd like to thank our sponsors of the judges pack, South Carnarvon Creameries and Butler's Farmhouse Cheeses for our aprons. Just like to remind everybody that the live event is Friday the 13th of May, judging the best of classes in the categories Best English, Best Irish, Welsh and Scottish cheeses, along with the awards that recognise the talented and passionate people within the industry. The day will culminate with the award of the Supreme Champion 2022. Again, thank you judges for your time.
Thank you very much.